Welcome back to Trade Buzz. I'm Martin, and I'm here with Jamie. So, Jamie, last time we talked a little bit about the CTPAT program. I want to talk a little bit about the compliance aspect of it. So, how has the CTPAT compliance program evolved from what it was?
Yeah, so it was formerly known as the ISA, or the Importer Self-Assessment. And so it was really wasn't actually tied necessarily to CTPAT before. It was its own separate program. And what ISA was built around was customs, again, needed help from industry to help everyone stay compliant. So they gave you certain benefits if you would put a really robust program in place and manage it yourself without needing all of their direction. Then you got certain benefits. One of them being the key one was trying to get out of like a focused assessment or audit. If you were doing these really robust programs, they would trust you to therefore manage yourself. But not too long ago, that program was linked up with CTPAT, and they changed the name from ISA to the CTPAT Compliance Program. And that one is taking what we discussed earlier around the security controls, but then also tying that all the compliance pieces as well. So things like valuation, classification, origin determination. Now all that's linked in together in one big happy program.
Okay. So where do companies struggle when participating in that kind of program?
I think when you add on this compliance piece to it, you have to follow the same standards of CTPAT of documenting everything. So having a good, robust manual in place for all of your compliance activities, it's an absolute requirement of that program. And sometimes companies struggle to put those together and then to follow those programs. And I think companies often underestimate how much effort that is. There is a lot of oversight, validation, verification, auditing that's required for these programs. And so companies sometimes struggle to hold up to that requirement.
Okay. So what would help companies succeed in that CTPAT compliance program?
I think one of the key things is, again, applying that same rigidity. When you're in CTPAT, you have a portal that you have to upload your policies, your procedures, your guidelines, and there's a verification process. Applying that same rigor on the CTPAT compliance side is the best way to start, at least, is establishing those good, solid, documented processes, and then auditing and assessing yourself regularly. That is a really important part of the compliance program with CTPAT, is that you do that self-checking. And so auditing is, I always say audit, assess. It's very important, but it's even more important in this program. And I think that's one of the reasons that some companies kind of struggle to put this in place. Is one of the things that you do have to do is, if you are part of CTPAT compliance review and you do find issues, you have to report that to the government. So as opposed to it being a voluntary disclosure, under this program, it really becomes a required disclosure. And so sometimes companies are reticent to join the program because of that requirement. But as long as you have those robust processes in place, you shouldn't be scared.
Makes sense. Thank you, Jamie, for that insight. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Trade Buzz.
Thank you, and stay vigilant.